I don't know if this focused or not, but I got into Boston College. This video, as you can see in the title, is going to be all about my stats, my GPA, my test scores, my extracurriculars, my personal statements, my family background, everything about me or that I've submitted about me that has contributed to my acceptance at Boston College. Yeah. Let me grab my computer. Am I too low? Should I be sitting on my banana? Oh yes, maybe that's a better height. Before I start anything, I want to let you know that this is just some things about me that the admissions officers have become aware of. There are a lot of nuances in the college admissions system, and there's not one single, it's all the abadi. You'll see this with a lot of other YouTubers who are college students that get accepted. They don't know why. I don't know why either. Luck also plays a huge role. I applied to Boston College thinking that I won't get accepted because my GPA is not the highest. My SAT comparatively is not the highest either. And so I really didn't think I would get in. Okay, let's just go through all my stuff and you can get a better picture of me. Take note that I didn't get any scholarships or anything, so I'm pretty sure I'm like a mediocre student. Let's get to all my information. I can't believe I'm sending this on the internet. I'm first going to go through personal background, then I'm going to go through my GPA, extracurriculars, and finally my personal statements and my supplemental essays. But before any of that, I want to put on the screen all the other universities that I got accepted in or waitlisted in, so you could get like a better idea of where I sit in the college spectrum, I guess. Okay, so personal background, I'm half Chinese, half Singaporean. Yeah, so I guess there's a little bit of like me going into BC will give them a little bit more diversity as an Asian kid. I live a pretty lavish lifestyle for the community that I'm in right now. I grew up in a rather loving family. My both parents are still here. I have an older brother. I am one of the first generation kid in my family that has attended college, so like my mom and dad didn't go to university, nor did my grandparents, and so on and so forth. I have 2 dogs too, if you're interested. Okay, now we move on to our GPA. For me, I don't have a GPA. I went by the International Bureaucrat curriculum, aka IB. It is known to be the worst of them all, but it's really not that bad. Okay, let me first explain what the IB is. It's not like the American high school. Instead of choosing different courses every semester, you just pick 6 subjects and you take them throughout the 2 years. For my IB, I took Math Application and Interpretation HL, English A HL, Chinese B HL, Business Management HL, Biology SL, and Psychology SL. So for IB, you're required 3 HLs. I took the extra 4th HL because for Chinese B HL and Business Management HL, they're known as like the easier HLs. For Chinese B, since I took Chinese A and IGCSE, despite me struggling with it like severely, like I would get D's, right? So on my records, it would still say I took Chinese A. So for me to move from first language Chinese to second language Chinese, obviously the university admissions officer may be like, why is she taking second language when she could take first language? But okay, I can't take A. That's ludicrous. So applying to BC, you know the American system, we apply with our predicted grades, right? I'll just put my grades in that column thing, and then for the total I got predicted a 42, which is really not bad, but at the time this was my predicted grades, this was my actual grades when my predicted grades came out. As you can see, there is a clear discrepancy between the two. These predicted grades really messed with my mental health. It's like you're expected to get this, but in reality you're getting this, and this was like just half a year before my final IB exams, which is absolutely terrifying. And that is not to take into consideration that my IAs, oh my god, my IAs, whew, that's for another time. For my test scores, because this year, you know, COVID and stuff, so we didn't have to submit our SATs, but just so you get like a sense of how bad I am. I took the SATs like 4 times, and my highest score was like 1400. Whilst like my best friend here, she got a 1520 her first try. Oh my god, I can't even. I can't even. Like,
honestly, reading for me is so difficult. I can't think the same way other people.
And then for my TOEFL, I got
113 5 years ago. Okay, take that into consideration.
Yeah, I ended up getting a 109.
Which also sucks. Because I got 29 for everything other than reading. Clearly you can see that I got an issue with reading. Gee.
Now, onto my extracurriculars. This is the part where I'm a little bit more proud of what I've accomplished. I'll first go through sports, academics, and community service, these 3 sections. I'll then give some tips for the activities section on Common App. So for sports, I did 2 sports, netball and basketball. For netball, I started in 2013. I was team captain ever since like grade 9, all the way till grade 12. That's essentially like high school for me, right? And then I got given player of the year 3 times and best attitude 1 time. And I feel like I'm flexing a lot. And then for basketball, I joined something like 2015, 2016, and I got best attitude just this year. Before, I was always messing around. Okay, I didn't have the guts to do anything else. I wrote more about these 2 for my UC system essays. For my academics, I mainly did 2. For 1, it was earlier on in like grade 10 where I participated in Knowledge Wharton High School. Since I'm not majoring in business or minoring in business, I don't think that gave me a lot of brownie points, but it was an experience, and it was at Wharton. It was at UPenn. Come on. Less on that. Another academic program I did was sociology and the study of culture. This was a purely online program. It lasted 10 weeks, with half of it being during school and the other half during the summer of 2020. We were given like an introductory course to sociology. I got a full merit scholarship for like $4,000 or something like that for a report on domestic elders. I'll go into more detail later. And then now for community service. I think for community service is one of the things I'm like most passionate about, because I took a lot of like leadership roles. So I took part in the journey to help others realize that community service is a good thing. I took on 3 leadership roles in terms of service. One being the Crescendo Project, the other being Golden Hour, and the third being the service prefect of our school. The Crescendo Project is this student-led project where we went to migrant schools to teach little kids how to play musical instruments. I was the student leader for this project. We had to go contact the migrant schools. We had to plan the fundraising activities. We had to go talk to
our senior school leadership team. I think that's all I wrote on my activities list for Crescendo Project, so I don't have to go on a tangent about that. But
I'm honestly really passionate about this. I don't think many of you want to hear any of this, so maybe I'll save that for next time. And for the second community service project I did was Golden Hour. I founded Golden Hour myself before COVID hit. And what I wrote here is that we facilitating breaking ice between generations. I really want to talk about it, but I don't think you want to hear. We went to local parks to make connections with people regardless of like their age. The whole purpose of Golden Hour is to help people realize that this gap should not be the reason you don't talk to them, but instead this gap should be the reason you strike curiosity in them. We also hosted a lot of family game nights and things like that to help facilitate a lot of these connection making. Yeah, it felt really nice because I also got to understand my family a lot better through this project. And for a third, I was the service prefect of our school. Here I wrote facilitating service learning at our school. I worked closely with the heads of college on effective communication. Yeah, I didn't write much about this because I personally didn't think I did a really good job, but I did talk about me thinking that I didn't do a good job in my personal statement. Because we have 10 activities, right? So obviously, if I say it right now, it's gonna sound a little overwhelming to you. Honestly, as long as you started to do these little things throughout your years in high school, I don't think it's that big of an issue, because off the top of my head, right, I can only pull out around 4 things that I do. But then after revisiting my college Common App activities list, I've just realized how much I've done already. And there are a lot of other things that I didn't talk in detail about, and I'll just go through a little bit whilst I'm giving these tips. For the description section, personally, I think it's best if you make it more emotions orientated, because for one, if you only talk about your figures, for those activities where you don't got figures, they're gonna know. Okay, they're gonna know. Try to allow the admissions officer to resonate with your descriptions, because it's just really hard to think that you are a human. And it was like, okay, you did this, you did that, and then I could get a robot to do all that, right? And then so use words like passionate, love, proud, how this really influenced you. So another example for my Dale Carnegie immersion seminar, I said made me more optimistic, adaptable, and confident in speaking Chinese. Really let them see that you had like a personal motive for you to do all these activities, and it's not just someone told me to do it and so I did it. I did this only for college applications. You do this all in like little bullet point sentences, because there's like a character limit of like 150 or something like that, right? Yeah, so you have to make sure that you really balance that out. Speaking on balance, make sure you have a balance. I gotta change a word. Like all I can think of is equilibrium. Okay, I just searched up, I can't find another word, so you gotta balance out. Make sure you have a good variety. There you go. Make sure you have a good variety of activities. So for me, I have 2 service activities, 2 academics, I have 2 athletics, 1 student government, which is my service prefect role. I'll just quickly list them out. For my internship, I took photos for this book club at a local cafe. For my environmental one, I went on multiple conferences, and I just put one of them on, which is like the One Voice conference. And for the other one, I did a Dale Carnegie immersion program. For this, I added this just because Dale Carnegie is more well known, and it's a lot easier to explain something that people already have a basis on. Yeah. Now we move on to the heavy lifters, my personal essay. For my personal essay, I chose the topic of like you can write anything of your liking. And for this, I talked about my passion for service. I did this in a more story-like tone, with it starting like
my laptop in one hand, a banana in the other, and a bag about to fall off my shoulder. Okay, so I've got to discuss communication issues, keeping the students motivated, redefining service. Oh, Viola, I got a new idea.
You know, you can really hear my voice come out. If you guys are interested, I can do a reading my personal essay out. That's gonna be so weird. Yeah, I could do that potentially. And it's just basically my journey in understanding service. It's like 2 parallel lines that have this bond on each other. One being my passion for service, and the other being how I become more comfortable in my own skin. Here's a quote. I used to be that shy, freckled kid who sits in the back of the classroom, too scared to express my curiosity, confront my weaknesses, or act on my motives. Service has taught me how to remove these labels confining my growth. And just as a little cliffhanger, I ended with, I am selectively extroverted. I used a lot of first person. I used a lot of like thought bubbles in italics, and a lot of dialogue to make the entire essay more lively. And there's like also a strong focus about resilience, because obviously being in the graduating year of 2021, the coronavirus hit on one of the most important years for an IB student, which is our first year. That's where all the foundation is set, but for us it was very disrupted, and no doubtly it had a very strong influence on me and my family and my academics, my mental health mainly. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is still a thing for the later applying years, but we had a little bit for community disruption. I did write about that. Yeah, the entire thing is again focused on resilience and self-healing, all centered around mental health. Onto the thing that I'm kind of proud of, which is my supplemental essay. For supplementals is you choose 1 out of 4, and the one I chose is that if you had an opportunity to create your own college course, what contemporary problem would you address and why? You guys would love to hear this, okay? Maybe you would only love to hear this if you can relate. But let me just give you the course, I named it PSY 288, Creation of Human Carbon Copies, the micro and macro impacts of Chinese education. Whew! So good. It's legendary. Beautiful! Okay, I'm so happy. Alright, I just talked about how my interactions with domestic local school students has led me to realize the issue with our Chinese education system, and the same applies to our Singapore education system. But I didn't write that in my essay because I didn't want to be attacking two governments. Oh my god, Chinese. Sorry. I love China. I'm just really curious about this issue. Not that I think it's an issue. It's fascinating to me. One last tip is that you see for the activities list, there's a character limit. Don't worry too much about not writing enough information because you could always just add that in the additional information section. I separated again into 3. I said regarding my athletics, blah 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 blah, regarding my academics, blah blah blah, and then regarding my service project, whatever. I'm just going to talk about my academics here because I wrote the most for this part. Regarding my academics, I hope this helped some of you guys. One of my biggest tips is to start early for y'all. For all of you like 2022 students, you should be writing your application right now, because I pretty much finished my BC application before my final year of high school started, and that really helped me write my other applications. Because one right, I was still going through a lot of I was still having a lot of activities, so all of these reflections just kept coming. So don't do it too early, because I feel like a lot of my growth came from my second last year of high school. So it would be year 12, grade 11, junior year. A lot of my self-growth came from that year. And then, so don't be writing like 2 years ahead, because there's really no point. You're constantly growing. And then another thing is just be authentic as possible, because if I were a mission officer, right, I would be able to tell whether a student is being authentic or not. Because there's a lot of like very small emotions that you can feel from authentic students that is part of my value system. It might not be the value system of others, but I do feel that Boston College cares about that a lot. So if you're looking at Boston College, then make sure you're really authentic and you actually have reflected and elucidate that in your essays. Yeah, if you guys are in the graduating year of 2023, start your college search process, because I think that searching process also really helps ignite a lot of your passion. Having a direction, you're walking towards a particular ray of sunshine. It really motivates you and it helps you get those essays done. Oh, because there's a lot of application systems. There is like Common App, Coalition, and then UC systems. There might be more, I'm not aware, but these are the 3 I applied with. And I wrote about my achievements in my UC and Coalition one, but I didn't write about it in my Common App one. So make sure you don't make that mistake, because I think Northwestern slipped away from my hands. Just like that, but I think it's meant to be. I really do enjoy Boston College. I'm really looking forward to my years there, and I can't wait. That's it. I hope this video helped you guys in some sort of way. Maybe gave you a sort of direction to whether you want to apply to BC or not, but I hope you have a great day. Get writing those applications. Make sure to like, subscribe, maybe click on the notification bell. I don't think I deserve a notification bell as of now. If you're looking forward to seeing more Boston College content or like college student content, international student content, Chinese kid content, I don't know. Leave me a comment below on things you want to see. If you don't like the video, I'm sorry. I will do better. Let me know how I should improve. Thanks for watching. Bye.